In this crime diary entry, we'll be speaking about a case that proves money is actually not the root of all evil, but greed can be. On September 2nd, 2012, mother of one, Yolanda Holmes, is asleep with her boyfriend in her apartment in the 1000 block of West Monroe Avenue in Chicago, when her son calls her at 4:56 a.m. to say that he was headed home. Her then boyfriend was awakened to gunshots. Holmes' boyfriend, Curtis Wyatt, then encountered the intruder, and that's when a struggle ensued. The intruder was able to get away by pistol whipping Wyatt. Wyatt then called 911, but it was already too late. Holmes had been shot once in the right temple and stabbed multiple times. Now, even though Wyatt did encounter this shooter and saw him, police made no arrests and had no suspects. The case went cold for months. Holmes' family, mainly her sister, reached out to the police department repeatedly, demanding answers in the murder of their loved one. Yolanda Holmes also left behind her 22-year-old son, Qaw'mane Wilson. Qaw'mane was described by neighbors and friends as being the light of his mother's life. She loved to dote on him, and there was nothing she wouldn't do for her one and only son. It's reported that Qaw'mane Wilson's father was sent to prison when he was young, so Yolanda did everything she could to keep her son on a straight and narrow path so he wouldn't end up like his father, sometimes spoiling him. She bought him a fancy car, helped him land a job, and legally aided him when he was arrested for possession of a BB gun. He even had gotten her name tattooed on his right shoulder. So when Qaw'mane didn't show obvious grief at his mother's funeral, family members just chalked it up that Qaw'mane was just grieving in his own way. However, 8 months later, Qaw'mane became a suspect in police investigation into his mother's murder due to his newly found lavish lifestyle. Qaw'mane could be seen on social media going to the bank and withdrawing large sums of money just to throw that money into crowds of people. He even remodeled his car and jump-started his rap career. Police investigation discovers that Qaw'mane was the sole beneficiary of his mother's life insurance. They also discover that within a week after his mother's passing, Qaw'mane withdrew money from his mother's bank account, which contained more than $90,000. After investigating Qaw'mane's phone records, authorities discover multiple suspicious phone calls to Eugene Spencer and Lorianna Johnson. In December of 2013, all three suspects were arrested, and that is when boyfriend Curtis Wyatt is able to pick Eugene Spencer out of a lineup as being the intruder in the household the night of the murder. Spencer then spills the beans that Qaw'mane hired him to kill his mother so that he could get access to her funds. Spencer also implicates Johnson as being the getaway driver. Spencer then details the events of that night as follows. He enters the apartment, where he then shoots Holmes and gets into the scuffle with Wyatt. At that point, investigators ask Spencer why did he stab Holmes if she was already dead. Spencer then explains that he calls Qaw'mane at that point, and Qaw'mane tells him to make sure that bitch is dead. When the dust settles, Lorianna was found guilty of armed robbery and was sentenced to 14 years with time served in 2015. Eugene Spencer and Qaw'mane Wilson, on the other hand, were each convicted of first-degree murder, home invasion, and attempted murder. Spencer was sentenced to 100 years, while Qaw'mane was sentenced to 99 years with 1 year time served. Reports say Qaw'mane offered Wilson $3,500 to kill Holmes, but when it was all said and done, he only received $70 for the deed. After his sentencing, Qaw'mane was asked if he had anything to say, and he stated, "Nobody loved my mother more than me. She was all I had." Well, he sure had a funny way of showing that. He had a mother that was willing to give him any and everything, and in return, he gave her death. Let us know how you feel about this story in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. This audio is also available via podcast, The Crime Diary.